In homes, schools, and workplaces across the country, an uncomfortable reality is taking shape. It's a quiet crisis, one that unfolds not in headlines but in report cards, in employment statistics, and in the private struggles of millions. For the first time in modern history, a significant portion of an entire generation of boys and men are falling behind their female peers. This isn't a zero-sum game or a battle of the sexes, it's a societal imbalance that has profound consequences for everyone, for the stability of our families, the health of our communities, and the future of our sons. The data, when you look closely, is startling and unequivocal. In our schools, girls are now 14 percentage points more likely to be school-ready at age 5. By high school, boys make up 2/3 of students in the bottom quartile of grades. This educational gap cascades into the workforce, where male labor force participation has been declining for decades, and it extends into their personal lives, contributing to what economists call deaths of despair, a tragic rise in suicide and overdose rates, particularly among men without a college degree. The evidence is no longer just a collection of isolated statistics, it's a clear, consistent pattern showing the widening of crucial gaps. For decades, the public conversation has rightly focused on breaking down barriers for girls and women. But in that necessary pursuit of equality, have we failed to notice a new set of challenges emerging for boys? To navigate this complex and often sensitive territory, we turn to one of the leading voices on the subject, Richard Reeves. A senior fellow at the Brookings Institution for many years, Reeves is now the founding president of the American Institute for Boys and Men. His work isn't about reversing progress for women, but about extending the same compassion and evidence-based concern to the other half of the population. His landmark book, Of Boys and Men, Why the Modern Male is Struggling, Why It Matters, and What to Do About It, provides a crucial roadmap for understanding this crisis. And according to Reeves, one of the most crucial battlegrounds where these struggles first take root is the modern classroom. The structure of early education, with its heavy emphasis on verbal skills and sitting still, can be a developmental mismatch for many young boys. This brings us to a contentious policy debate unfolding in school districts nationwide, the practice of redshirting. For years, parents, often of boys born in the summer months, have chosen to delay their child's entry into kindergarten by a year. The goal isn't to gain an unfair advantage, but to give their child's prefrontal cortex, the brain's command center, more time to develop. It's an attempt to align a child's biological clock with the school's academic clock. But this past summer, Washington, D.C. joined New York, Chicago, and other major districts in banning the practice, citing equity concerns. This policy decision, while well-intentioned, highlights a fundamental dilemma. Are our systems failing to accommodate the natural developmental timeline of boys? The argument against redshirting is powerful and on the surface seems rooted in fairness. Critics contend that allowing parents to delay kindergarten entry is a tool of privilege, primarily used by affluent families to give their children an edge. They call it academic doping, a way to ensure their child is the oldest and most developed in the class. The proposed solution is simple: a mandatory single school entry age for all, creating what they hope is a level playing field. But what if this one-size-fits-all approach ignores a fundamental biological reality, and in doing so, makes the field even more uneven? The data certainly challenges this uniform approach. A landmark study from Tennessee, for instance, tracked thousands of students over several years. Researchers found that boys, particularly those from less advantaged backgrounds, who were given an extra year before starting kindergarten, didn't just catch up, they excelled. By third grade, these red-shirted boys had significantly higher scores on crucial literacy tests, and were far less likely to be referred for special education or have behavioral issues. The evidence suggests that the gift of time isn't about gaining an unfair advantage, but about reaching the starting line properly equipped to run the race. So why is this extra year so critical, especially for boys? The answer lies in developmental neuroscience. On average, boys' brains mature more slowly than girls'. The prefrontal cortex, the brain's command center for executive functions like impulse control, emotional regulation, and sustained attention, develops later in boys. This means that at age 5, the average girl is neurologically better prepared for the demands of a structured classroom. She can sit still longer, follow multi-step instructions, and grasp abstract concepts more readily. Boys, meanwhile, are often still in a developmental stage that prioritizes learning through movement and physical play. Their verbal skills also tend to lag slightly. This isn't a deficit, it's a different developmental timeline. But our modern school system is often unforgiving of this timeline. A 5-year-old boy who needs to move is labeled disruptive. One who learns by building is told he has a focus problem. This mismatch between a boy's natural development and the school's expectations can have damaging consequences. He may internalize the idea that he is bad at school. This is where we see the pathologizing of normal boy behavior. Boys are diagnosed with ADHD at a rate 2 to 3 times higher than girls. While ADHD is a real disorder, experts like Reeves warn that the classroom environment itself can mimic its symptoms, leading to overdiagnoses and medication for boys who are simply not developmentally ready for the curriculum. This problem is deeply structural. Compounding the issue is the dramatic gender imbalance in the teaching profession. Today, fewer than 1 in 4 elementary school teachers are men, creating an educational culture that is by default less boy-friendly. This isn't a criticism of our dedicated female teachers, it's an observation of a system that has lost a crucial perspective. Male teachers are often more familiar with and tolerant of the higher activity levels typical of young boys. Without them, there are fewer role models to show boys that their energy can be channeled productively. As Reeves starkly puts it, our schools too often treat boys not as different, but as defective girls. The result is a system that can set many boys on a path to disengagement and failure from their first day. So, what's the solution? Reeves argues for empowering parents with the choice to delay school entry, based on their child's individual readiness. This isn't about holding children back, but about launching them forward when they are ready. To make this an equitable solution, it must be paired with universal access to high-quality, play-based pre-K programs. An extra year in an environment designed for exploration and social-emotional growth could be the great equalizer, leveling the playing field for all children, but especially for boys from lower-income families. It's about transforming the gift of time from a private privilege into a public good. The bigger lesson is that education cannot be one-size-fits-all. Our systems often overlook a fundamental truth. Children develop at different rates. For many boys, the rigid structure of early schooling arrives before their brains are fully ready for its demands. Their slower developing prefrontal cortex can make it harder to sit still and focus. This is where parents' instincts matter. A parent who sees their son's energy not as a problem, but as a developmental stage, can better advocate for his needs, like more time for play or a different learning environment. As Richard Reeves emphasizes, we should avoid comparing boys to an ideal student who, consciously or not, is modeled on a girl. This model student is often quiet, organized, and verbally proficient. When this is the single standard, we risk telling boys that their natural inclinations, their need for movement, their interest in hands-on problem-solving, are less valuable. They can start to feel like they don't belong in the world of learning, a feeling that can lead to long-term disengagement. Instead, patience and flexibility are key. This means adapting the system to fit the child. For schools, this could mean more recess, more hands-on projects, and hiring more male teachers to provide crucial role models. For parents, it means understanding and advocating for their son's unique learning style, celebrating his strengths rather than focusing only on where he fits a predetermined mold. It's about creating an environment where all children can thrive. And this is only part of the story, because the solutions extend beyond the classroom. Tomorrow, we dive into another cornerstone of the male experience: fatherhood. We'll explore the unique and powerful influence of dads, how dads shape resilience, risk-taking, and the emotional lives of their children. We'll see how their distinct approach to parenting helps build emotional regulation and prepares children for life's challenges, shaping the adults they will become. This is Geoscope, and you're watching our special series on the future of boys and men.